Well, it's been a while since I've actually done one of these personal connections, and that's okay, because what I've been experiencing, what I've been doing for myself is that I have been putting myself into the washing machine, so to speak. I've been putting myself in that vortex of energy to shake, rattle, and roll anything that can possibly be shaken loose, to where I am allowing myself to be guided by my mentors, by Safita, by Katumi, my beautiful wife, Heather. She speaks into my life. She shows me, reflects back to me the moments and areas of my life where I'm faltering, and it's not just faltering and making little sort of like, oh, I didn't mean to say that, but it's like statements where I can undo a lot of what I am creating. So I'm very, very grateful for having her speak into my life. Do I always like it? No. I mean, like, who likes being told, hey, watch what you speak? Did you really mean to say that? And all that sort of stuff, But when we are on a spiritual journey, when we're on this journey of the soul, the journey of the spirit to discover who we are more and more in a reality world that is not real, the more we discover that this world is an illusion. And and a lot of people go, what do you mean it's an illusion? It's real. I mean, like, I can feel myself, I can tap the door, the table, you're sitting on a chair, you're wearing clothes, it's real. You've got a skin, pinch me, I hurt, cut me, I bleed. There is all of these signs of reality, and yes, we have a real world that we are interacting with, or what looks to be real. And again, I remind ourselves to look at the sort of imagery that we have had portrayed to us multiple times, going right back to a film that was released in 1999 called The 13th Floor, where there was a bunch of computer nerds who created online a simulation world that was just as real to them when they went into the computer, when they moved their consciousness from the physical body into the computer world. It was just as real to them. They could feel, they could eat, they could touch, they could dance, they could make love, they could eat, they could, if they were shot, they bled and died if they, if it was serious enough. So, in that, they're showing you that there is a simulation, a world within a world that may possibly be what we are living in at the moment. And then we've got the Matrix, and they did 3 series of, three things of the Matrix, 4 things of the Matrix, which again showed us that there is this potential, there is this illusion that we are in a dream, that we are dreaming that we're actually in this world, but meanwhile we're plugged into something else, and our bodies are being used as batteries for something. So there's that extreme as well. And then there's other things like the films that have come out with different things about time, how time is used to buy and sell things, and you've got a clock. You're born with a clock of how many years or days or months or whatever it is that you've been allocated to live in that particular time period. You've got the Adjustment Bureau. You've got the films where you've got the dreams within the dream within the dream. So there's a lot of different things that are out there that tell us that we potentially could be living in a hologram. Do I believe it? Personally, yes. Do I want everybody else to follow it because that's what I believe? But that's up to you. You have to make your own choices, your own conscious choice to step into something that is or is not your truth. For me, part of realizing that we're in illusion is to realize that everything I've lived, everything that I have experienced is a memory. It's a memory that's been given to me. And when I look at myself in reflection, I see a face, and that face has been very craftily and very well made to look as if it has aged from a baby through to who I am now in my mid-50s. And you know, and if you look at it at face value, then yeah, we're in a world, and I've had a past, and I've lived a life, and I've had experiences, etc., etc. But I'm going to ask you a question. Where did you live it? Because right now, in this moment, if you were to tap back into an event that happened in your past, where are you? You're in the past, but you're right here, right now. And even in that moment of the past, if I was to transport you back into that time, and I was to ask you to remember something, you would be in that moment remembering something. It would be a memory, okay? So I know it's really hard, but for me, it's the easiest way to comprehend that we are in a world that we're not part of. We are not meant to be part of this physical world. We just happen to be passing through it. Now, that's very similar to the religious text that says, you know, be not of the world, just be in it. But there's a lot of power with that when we realize that we're not actually of the mechanics of this world. In other words, we are in the moment. We're not the past or the future. We're not projecting so far forward that we actually lose ourselves, and we become so focused on what may happen, and we become consumed with the anxiety of what may happen, or we become so heavy and sorrowful of what we've lost because of looking back into the past all the time. When we can actually separate ourselves from that past and that future, and we come back into this present moment, and we drop into what Safita he's been teaching me this over many, many years. And it's the singularity of moment. It's the singularity of time. It's the coming together, the 0 point, the place where there is nothing. Nothing exists except you. Now, in many ways, we can look at this and we can say, but that doesn't make sense, because I use my eyes, I look around, and I can see everything around me. And yes, this is where the disconnect happens, because we've been programmed, and I'm going to use that word because if you look at all of the education that you've consumed, if you look at the social media, if you look at the films you watch, if you look at all of the different stuff that you ingest, you're doing what the NLP the NLP does, which is neuro linguistic programming. Okay, and I don't know a lot about it, but I'm putting myself in a position where I'm learning about it. And it works on a quantum level, because what it does is it works with the programming of your mind. It massages your mind and the thoughts of your mind. It rewrites the language of your mind so that you accept certain codes and words and triggers, and you reject other things. So think about it. If the media over the last 10, 15 years has been promoting a certain thing, they're going to not just, put it in over a short period of time. It's going to be a long-term game. It's a long-term game. And we just have to look at certain things like 9/11, and we go back and people start researching, and we see 9/11 projected into our present moment, into all of that which we're interacting with as far back as the 70s or 60s, with little nuances and sort of images and stuff like that. We just have to look at cartoons and characters and cartoon stories and different movies, etc., and we will see the 9/11 and science fiction, etc., all pointing to the Twin Towers and an event happening. And even in the music industry, etc., so as you go down the rabbit holes and the Warrens, and you do your discovery, you find different things. I'm just using different analogies at the moment. But for me, one of the things that I have come to realize in the solution is abundance. Abundance is something that we have been, or I have, let me come back to me, okay? I've been programmed that abundance it's something you can aim for. And if you're really clever and if you're really careful, you can kind of get to a point where you can make do and you can have a little bit extra. Now, there's others of you who've gone past that. You've cracked the code and you have powered through and you are abundant in every part of your life. And that's great. But if you're like me, who you might have had parents and grandparents that, look after the pennies, pounds look after themselves. Don't spend that if you don't have to. Put it away in the bank. Money burns a hole through your pocket. What are you doing with it? All of these things have been spoken over you, so that eventually what drummed into me was, money, it's here and then it's gone. It's like, I could never keep money around me, no matter how much I prayed. At the time when I was a Christian, I would ask God, please God, I would ask him, show me what to do. How do I create? How do I get more money? Please God, I need this and da 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 da. And sure, there were moments where miracles would happen and somebody would say, hey, look, I'm being led to give you this money for this particular event, or I had to have an operation. And in Zimbabwe, where I grew up, you couldn't go into the hospital until you prepaid for the operation. You had to pay for the operation beforehand. Once the operation was done, you could then go to your health insurance and you could claim it back, but you couldn't claim it back if you hadn't paid for it. And they wouldn't do the operation unless you paid for it. So go figure. So there was all of this that was happening. And again, it just embedded in me that I was poor. And no matter what I did in that life, I just couldn't seem to break even. I moved to New Zealand, and for years there I worked at part-time jobs, at full-time jobs, and I would have double shifts. I would do what I could to create as much money as I could to pay the rent, to buy food, to cover my costs. But I never seemed to come out ahead. There were times where I would come out ahead and I would go, yes, I'm making it. And I would get really, really excited. And then something would come along. There'd be an expense, or somebody would say to me, I really need the money. And of course I'd go, and that's my African upbringing as well, as I say, I'll give you the shirt off my back, but here you go. I don't need it. You have it. Pay me back. And I'm still waiting. I don't know if there's anybody else out there, but I'm still waiting for some people to pay me back. But you know what? If I was to stay there and go, I can't let anybody else because they haven't paid me back, I would be absolutely destitute now. But what I have discovered is I have gone through some major energy shifts in my life, major energy shifts. And I've actually written about it, and I'm going to be putting it up on my Substack. And I'm sharing this as well through different means, audibly, because sometimes when you speak it for people to hear, it's easier as well to hear it and see the emotion, see me as I'm speaking it, as well as reading it if you do get to read it. And one of the things I've discovered is, even in my spiritual walk, and I would be speaking the right words, I would be, I am that I am manifesting abundance in my life, and I would say all the right words. I read books and I listened to other teachers, and it still, nothing really happened in my life, even though I was working the spiritual work. I was doing the spiritual stuff. And yes, I was still being of service. I was putting my gifts out there. People were coming to me. They were booking sessions. And even though I had an abundance of clients come in, and I realized, you know what? I'm actually undercharging, because I was challenged one time by a client. They said, you're really cheap for what you do. Have you seen what everybody else is charging? So I went online and I looked. And here's the funny thing is, I went, oh, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could put my prices up there. Because what happens if I put my price up there and nobody books because I'm now expensive? And a couple of my friends said, look, you're not going to know until you try. So put your prices up. Go on. You're worth it, Lou. Go and put it up. So I went from $50 to $100, which was in the par with what everybody else was doing. And my sales dropped. They dropped. I say sales, bookings, etc., etc. And I was shattered. I thought, I stepped out in faith. I was doing the right thing. I was listening to advice. But here is the thing. I didn't believe in my heart. I didn't believe what I was saying. I didn't have the intention. I didn't have that activation in my energy. I was doing something because I thought that's what I should do. So in a manner of speaking, I was correct. I was planting seed. I was doing, but again, my mentality, my energetic connection was, it's coming, it's over there. I didn't see it as being right here, right now. So what's changed between that time and now? Well, I've shifted. I have had Safida, my energy mentor, and other people know him as Saint Germain. Sorry, just grabbing the water. I've had Katumi Lal Singh. In fact, he gave me a wonderful meditation. It's just a very, very short one. Just going into the breath, and in this now moment, I release my past. In this now moment, I release the future anxieties. In this now moment, I come in. I am. In this moment, I am present. In this moment. And he takes me through a real deep meditation that takes me down, down, down into the spaces in between, into that place of feeling and knowing who I am in this moment. And it's in this moment, this 0 point, this singularity of being, that I suddenly realize who I am. And I realize that I am successful. And I have a large client base. And sure, I might not be on the face of every spiritual magazine or whatever. Really, I'm successful. And that's all I need to know at this moment. How the universe portrays that outward, how the energy field around me takes that knowledge and represents it to the rest of the energy field, is not up to me. What's up to me is to be in the moment. And in this moment, I consciously connect to my success. And in my success, I am abundant. I have everything I need. And one of my biggest teachers in this has been my wife. Because when I've gone, oh, what are we going to do? She says, but it's here now. And I've watched her over the years that we've been together, before we got married and even after, how she's always had this assurity. She's been so assured in her knowing and her knowledge and everything that she's done, that right here, right now, whatever she's looking for, whatever she's putting out in the universe, it is here now. And she's never, that I've seen, she's never put out that she is in lack. What she does in private, I don't know. Okay, I mean, we're two very, very strong and very individual women. But when she's with me, she's always talking up. We have, it's now, this is now, etc., etc. And with abundance, what I've realized is that I was saying all the right words. And at a point, my heart was in the right place. But my intention and the active activation of my intention by the actions I put out, as well as the words, wasn't linking up. So I was like, how can I put it? I was like, I'm abundant. Yes, large amounts of money come to me. Money comes to me easily. I was saying all the right words. Yeah. I was putting myself in a meditative space. I was saying the right words. I was connecting to energy. Then I'd get up and I'd work. And the next thing out of my mouth would be like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to get a client today. You see what I just did? I negated. There was no active activation of what I'd just been speaking about in the meditation. Instead, what I did is I dropped back into old thinking. I dropped back into the what if. Okay? So for me, it's been a change, and it's been a change I've had to consciously step into, which is I do have clients. My clients are booking. They have booked. I have bookings right now. My books, the books that I write, I'm actually doing a bit of a special on them because I don't have that many left, and they are selling. And they have sold, and I'm amazed at it. There is so many attributes to activating the intent of abundance in your life. You have to act on it. You know, there was an old saying that people used to say, act as if, fake it till you make it. And there's a lot of truth in that. But for me, it's not faking it. It's actually acting in the moment of now, feeling in this now moment, the success, the abundance, and knowing that it's there in the moment. Because the more I tap into it in that moment, the more I am in the moment of abundance, right here, right now, in my essence, the more it is able to reveal itself to me in this essence, in this time, in this exact moment. Because this exact moment is not just a maybe. It's not somewhere out in the future. It is right here, right now. And right now, I want you to breathe with me. I just want you to take a deep breath going. And I want you to just be quiet for a moment. Just still the mind. Still the heart. Just breathe. And allow yourself to step on that elevator and just drop down into the heart space. To just feel the energy that is throbbing around your heart, around your chest. If you were to put your hands not on your chest, but just around, just above, you'd feel that. You'd feel that energy, and that's your energy field. That's your toroidal energy. And if you breathe and allow it, you'll actually begin to feel it pushing your hands out. Just breathe. Feel your energy. And as it begins to pull inward again, allow yourself to just drop into that flow. Go in, go really in. And allow yourself to drop down into the very center of your being, into your soul connection. That quiet place. Just breathe. That's your soul center, your 0 point. And in this place, as you breathe, in this place, as you connect to yourself, what do you feel? Do you feel the limitlessness? Do you feel the expansive energy flow? Do you feel the potentials, the everything is possible? Do you feel that right here, right now? Every existence that you could possibly live, every existence that you have lived, is merging. Because this is the moment that you realize that you are the 0 point. You are the singularity. You are this connection, this activation. You are the intent. This is the divine center where the Creator has placed within each of us the awareness that we are the creators, that our words, our energy creates. And it's in this moment I ask that you would begin to activate your intent. What is the intent that you are seeking at this moment? Is it healing? Then activate healing. In this now moment, I am healed. I'm not waiting for it. I am healed. Do you need abundance? In this now moment, I am abundant. All my financial needs are met. All my needs of abundance, whether it's family, friends, work, relationship, social, all my needs are met. I am abundant. In this moment, I am expansive. I grow, I learn, I absorb the spirit realm. I hear my higher self speak to me. In this place of being, in this deep connection of the singularity, as you bring every part, every connection point, every vortice that is in your energy field, and they join in this singularity, you see, you feel the toroidal energy building around you. The toroidal energy. This is your energy of creation. This is the energy of thriving. Activate the intention. Activate the connection to your own true center, the core being of who you are. This divine being that is you. And just breathe. And hold on to that energy, because that's who you are. And that's just a little bit of what I've been doing. And I don't do it at a regular time every day. I do it when I feel I need to do it. Because there is no time. There is only the moment of now. And when you feel you need to connect to who you are, and you need to activate that action and take action on the activation of your intent, then do that. Just breathe. And allow yourself permission. Allow yourself intent. And allow yourself to receive. For you are truly a magnificent energy, a magnificent being. Allow yourself to connect. Stay here as long as you need. And when it's time for you to move from this now moment, just gently ground yourself and move into the space that you need to move into. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me and letting me share what is here. Thank you.